Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Amber from Amber's Books and More, and today I have the first video of a new kind of series that I want to start, which is called The Writing Diaries. So I had put out feelers to do like writing vlogs, and so if I do decide to do any kind of vlogging for writing, it will go in these kind of videos. But so today is basically the first episode of The Writing Diaries, and today I want to talk about finishing that first draft. So I kind of wish that I would have been doing this at the beginning when I first started. But I think that since I can go forward, I can kind of get maybe the end pieces first. And then when I start my next book, I can get the beginning pieces of how I'm plotting. And because I am going to try to plot, even though I am quite the pantser. But I'm going to try to plot out a little bit. And I found a couple of videos that I have found helpful that I'm going to try out their methods and see if I like it. So I hit the words on the keyboard that spell the end a few days ago. I was very overwhelmed at the time, and I kind of cried a little bit, and I just sat there with this huge goofy smile on my face, and I was so excited to have finished the first draft. Now, given my first draft that I did this time, I completely pantsed. I kind of figured out who I wanted my characters to be somewhat, and then I started writing. I knew the premise of my book, and that's about it. I didn't write anything down. So I was basically a mess. It's a mess, and I wrote up to a certain point, and then I kind of got lost. And then I did some peer edits with my friend Julie at Pages and Pens, which please, I will leave the link for not only her YouTube page, but also her website. She is a professional editor, and she does offer professional editing services freelance. And she's awesome. So definitely check out her website, Quills and Keys, down below, and see if one of her packages will work for you if you are writing a book. Back to the topic, I had to throw that shameless plug in there, of course, is what happens after you finish that first draft. So you've written the end, you know it's a mess, you know you have work to do, it's not ready for human consumption. What next? So basically, this is what I did. This is my whole first draft. I printed it. It's massive, even though this is only an 80,000 word book. I hit just over 80,000, like 80,300, I think. And so here's actually where I am currently in the editing process, so not far. Now you'll see all of these tabs down here, these tabs up to a certain point. Can you see where it stops here? So these tabs were when I did my peer edits. These are the tabs from Julie. She doesn't do that for her professional editing. This was peer edits that we did sitting on the couch across from each other. But this is the thing. So the yellow is like plot holes. Blue is like maybe you have too much or too little description. We have it written down here. So yellow was plot hole. Purple was character. Green was the descriptions. And then orange is just general notes. Yeah, so you can see that most of the book here is just general notes. And there's a few plot holes and some, the description ones for me are usually more description because I would get stuck a lot and just write, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, instead of throwing the reader into the story and having them feel the emotions of what's happening. It happens, but that's why no one is supposed to see your first draft, because unless it's like, you know, peer edit or critique partner, that kind of thing. So what I suggest doing is after you finish your first draft, you can either print it like this if you have access to a cheap printer, because just the front part of this was 271 words, and it cost me like $30 or so to print it. So if you have anything, and that was only at what, 40,000 words. So if you have anything bigger than that, I don't suggest it. I think it was at 57, I don't know. It was something like that. So about 50,000 words is going to cost you like $30 to $40 to print it. If you print it in manuscript format, which gives room to do notes. Because why shorten it and then not have any room for notes? I'm rambling. But anyway, so go through and kind of do what me and Julie did. You find your plot holes, you read it, and you find where you need more or less description, something that is wrong, like it doesn't make sense for the character. Like for instance, let's say your character has, he's very sarcastic and he's very, he's one of those people that just like has no filter and just blurbs out. But then suddenly in one scene, he's cautious about what he says and he says something that just doesn't sound like it would come out of his mouth. Tab it up. You can go back and you can rewrite it and you can edit it. Plot holes are, it could be anything from huge plot hole. Like I have actually a plot hole because I kind of lost track and I went down a different path. So I have a huge plot hole where I have to go in and fill in the gap that I didn't write. You can have small plot holes like, for instance, I have a character that he has a nervous, all my characters in the books I've ever written always have one nervous tick. Something that they do all the time, because I feel like we all do. So I have one character that wears bangs, not in this book, but in another book, and she's always like, and like blows her bangs up. And then this book, one of my characters like has kind of a scrubbly beard, and so he's constantly like rubbing his beard and it's kind of like scratching it, and that's just like when he's thinking or something. So what I did was another character, I accidentally had them do the same thing, and Julie was like, no, they can't both have the same tick, and I was like, no, that's a plot hole, definitely. Or even saying that a character's eyes are blue and then later on saying that they're green, that's a plot hole, you got to fix it, stuff like that. So once you print it, so once you finish it, the end, you're going to be very emotional, especially 100% if this is your very first novel that you finished. So take time and revel in that feeling that I finished a freaking first draft. That is the best feeling, right? And then take time to realize it needs a lot of work. I better get started. So either you want to put it away in a drawer for a couple weeks if you want, or if you want to go in and do one over and get all the big things that you know already as you're writing it that you need to rewrite and revise, that's fine. My plan is going to be to go through and implement all of these changes and things that I know when I went forward that I'm going to have to, because I changed, like there's one character that had a very minimal part and didn't really have anything to do, and I with Julie's suggestion said, you know, this is actually a really great character, maybe he should have something more. And she saw maybe an attraction with another character in him that I didn't even think of before, and I thought, oh my god, yes. So I started writing that relationship from like as if they had already gotten together, and so I need to go back and write in the flirtations and the noticing, and you know, just because it needs to make sense. It's not going to be like you don't know this person, all of a sudden you're kissing, you're right. So yeah, it has to make sense. So anyway, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to do her edits and the revisions. I'm going to go through after that and read the rest that I wrote as it makes sense with what I've already edited, edit that piece, and then this is going to be put away in a drawer somewhere, and I'm not going to look at it for probably at least 2 to 3 weeks, and in that time I'm going to start writing another book. I know I'm crazy, but I already have an idea that I've been kind of, I'm at the beginning phase to where I'm just kind of jotting down ideas of what I want. I haven't started to fully plot yet, and so I will do a video on that once I fully start plotting out, because it's new for me, and I figure if I share it with you guys, maybe it will make it easier for some people that are going from pantsers to being somewhat plotters. Like I'm definitely not going to fully plot out every single thing, because that's just not how my brain works. I need freedom. So that's all for today. That's what I'm going to do. This is about finishing that first draft. Take time, have a dance party, and enjoy the feeling. And go and congratulate my writing buddy and critique partner and editor, Julie, at Pages and Pens. She just finished her first draft, and this is her first full-length novel that she has finished. I'm so proud of her. It's ridiculous. So go and show her some love. So let's talk about stuff in the comments. If you want to talk about writing, if you want to ask questions about anything to do with the writing process, I will try to have more videos about writing going forward, about plotting and about planning, about actual writing, about editing, anything that you guys think that you would want to watch. So that's it. So until next time, have a great day wherever you are. Keep writing, and I'll see you later. Bye.